Dr. Mindy here, and on this video, I want to give you 12 amazing tips for speeding up your results with intermittent fasting. So if you're new to my channel, I just want to say welcome. I am a woman on a mission trying to get 1 million people to fast. Fasting is our way to better metabolic health. Better metabolic health is our way out of chronic disease. So the principles you learn here will be life-saving, and this one, I got some really good info for you. So if you're new, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And those of you that share the videos out, again, super grateful for you guys. Okay, it's fast training week. If you don't know what fast training week is, it's a 5-day period every month where we practice different concepts around fasting. This month, I really wanted to help you all understand stored sugar. Because what happens is, as we've been eating for decades the wrong foods, is that our sugar load has been getting higher and higher and higher. And then when we come to fasting, we are literally draining those sugar loads out. And the more you start to bring that sugar load down, the faster your intermittent fasting results will be. The challenge is that sometimes we're not getting a quick enough result because the stored sugar level isn't coming down fast enough. So in that case, we gotta go and biohack some of the areas where your body has stored sugar. So I want to show you 3 different areas where your body's stored sugar, and I want to talk about 12 different ways you can get your body to release that sugar so that you can make more ketones, you can benefit from your fasted state a little bit quicker. So here we go. We're going to dive in. And remember, it is fast training week, so if you guys want to win a free box of Element, if you want this information, it is on a companion guide. So just put companion guide in the notes and my team will send you the free guide and you can learn how you can win a box of Element minerals. Okay, here we go. 3 areas that your body likes to store sugar. And I talked about this on the last video. It likes to store sugar in your liver, it likes to store sugar in your muscles, and it likes to store it as fat. These are the 3 primary areas. If stored sugar is a new concept to you, go back to the videos I did before this. I'll walk you through why your body has stored sugar in those places. But let's start with the liver, because this is it's such a big one, and I see this with so many of the comments you guys make, is that all roads point to the liver. So when the liver is storing sugar, many times things will get congested in there. So there is a thin straw that comes out of the liver called the common bile duct. And if you have a lot of toxins, a lot of stored sugar, and you have maybe some bad bacteria in your small intestine, that liver gets very, very stagnant and it won't make ketones very easily, and it can't even release the stored sugar in there. So we got to give it some help. And here are some of my favorite ways to help it. So the first is castor oil packs. I've talked a lot about that. The reason that castor oil works so well is that the molecule size can drive into the liver and start to open everything up. The thing about castor oils packs is it's a little bit easier too. So when you put it on over your liver, you got to leave it on for about 2 hours, that it will just gently open up that common bile duct and start to get the liver releasing its stored sugar. Now, if you want a faster way for the liver to release stored sugar, you can dive into coffee enemas. Also a really good way to start to mobilize the sugar and the toxins from your liver. And by the way, resources for both of these will be on the companion guide. But coffee enemas aren't for everybody, so castor oil packs can be a good next best. Now, other things we can do to the liver, and I think this is really important, is that if you know that your alcohol intake is not moderate, that maybe it's a little too much, understand that that can affect how you are able to make ketones. That can affect your intermittent fasting results. So decreasing your alcohol, every time you drink alcohol, unfortunately, it shuts down any ketone production from the liver. and your liver immediately switches over to process that alcohol. So it can make your intermittent fasting results a little more difficult. So we want to decrease alcohol. You can also increase your cruciferous vegetables. That also is really, really helpful because the liver loves Brussels sprouts, cauliflowers, broccoli, things like that. And if you haven't tried the essential oils by Hope Restore Oils, they have a Live Better oil that's amazing. I did a whole interview with Gavin on the Resetter podcast. We'll leave a link for that in there as well. But the liver usually is the biggest area that prevents you from getting great results with intermittent fasting. Two other areas I want to talk about is if you are trying to lose a little more weight with intermittent fasting, you might have to exercise. I know that sounds crazy. I know like fasting is amazing and we can all drop weight without doing exercise. But sometimes if we want to speed up our results, we might need to exercise. And the way that you go after stored glucose in your muscles is high intensity training, where your heart rate goes up really high for about 30 to 45 seconds. And then you give it a rest for 90 and then back up for 35 to 40 and rest for 90. This is known as Tabata training, and it is proven to get that stored sugar out of your muscles. We also know strength training, building muscle, will release stored sugar as well in the muscular system. And then the place that everybody wants to get this stored sugar from and get a result with intermittent fasting is in fat. And I've talked about this a lot, where if all fat is your body was storing extra stuff in fat to save your life. So we don't really need to villainize it, we need to mobilize it. And the way we can do that is through sweating. So make sure you're sweating on a regular basis, a couple times a week, daily even if you can. Dry brushing, make sure that you're dry brushing, especially in the areas where the fat is. Infrared sauna is great because it'll mobilize fat cells and heat them up from the inside out. So if you have an infrared sauna, that's great. And then another really interesting hack is vibration plates. Getting on a vibration plates, either at your gym or if you have one at home, that can mobilize fat and get the stored sugar out as well. Last one that I'm going to put on here that is really cool, and I actually was interviewed on The Doctors about this, and it's a fun study, I'll leave the link in the notes, is that sun actually can mobilize the fat. So when your skin actually hits sun rays, the fat right underneath your skin actually will break apart and mobilize, and you're actually burning fat in sun, which is why they think that we tend to lose more weight in the summertime than the wintertime. So that's a really cool study. I'll leave a link there, but that's another one that I would add. But here's what I want you to really grasp is intermittent fasting works, and it works for everybody. So if you're sitting here listening to this and you're like, but it's not working for me, then I want you to realize that these 3 areas may need some extra love, and here are 12 ways you can do it. So as always, if you have lost a lot of weight with the tools I've taught here on this channel, please leave it in the comments so everybody can learn from it. If you want the companion guide, if you want to win a box of Element, all of that is in the companion guide. Just put companion guide in your comments. And don't give up on yourself. Your body is a miracle. It was so miraculous that it saved your life by putting sugar in these areas. So now let's just undo that. As always, hope that helps.